Your body is tired. Somehow your mind keeps running. You replay conversations long after they ended. You imagine worst-case scenarios before they even happen. You keep trying to predict problems, control outcomes, prepare for every possible future, just so you can finally feel at peace. But no matter how much you think, the peace never fully comes. And after a while, overthinking stops feeling like a habit. It starts feeling like survival, because somewhere deep inside, your mind quietly convinced itself that if you think enough, you can protect yourself from pain. So you keep analyzing, keep preparing, keep mentally rehearsing things that may never even happen. Not because you want chaos, because you are afraid of what happens if you stop controlling everything. And honestly, most people do not realize how exhausting that becomes. The human mind was never designed to carry this much pressure for this long. Yet every day, people walk around with invisible storms inside them, smiling externally, while internally their thoughts never stop moving, especially at night. Because when the noise around you finally becomes quiet, noise inside you suddenly becomes impossible to ignore. So you lay there replaying mistakes, imagining future disasters, wondering if people secretly dislike you, wondering if everything is about to fall apart. And eventually, your mind becomes so overstimulated that peace itself starts feeling unfamiliar. That is the dangerous part of overthinking. After a while, you stop seeing rest as safe, you start seeing rest as vulnerability. Because if you slow down, you might have to feel everything you have been trying to outrun. But what if overthinking is not actually wisdom? What if it is fear disguised as preparation? Because there is a difference between being thoughtful and trying to mentally control an entire future that only God can see deep down. Many overthinkers are not truly searching for answers. They are searching for certainty. Certainty that they will not fail. Certainty that they will not be rejected. Certainty that nothing painful will happen. But the human mind will never create perfect certainty. It only creates more loops, more fear, more emotional exhaustion. In the Bible, Jesus says, "Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life?" That question is deeply revealing, because worrying feels productive. It feels responsible. It feels like you are doing something. But most of the time, overthinking does not change the future. It only steals your ability to live in the present. And slowly, your thoughts begin draining your spirit. You become emotionally tired, mentally restless, spiritually disconnected. Even small decisions start feeling heavy. And maybe this is why so many people feel exhausted all the time now. Not because life is always physically harder, because their mind never receives permission to rest. There is always another fear, another imagined outcome, another mental conversation. Your body may be sitting still while your mind is running marathons. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, God quietly says, "Be still and know that I am God." But peace was never supposed to come from mentally controlling everything. Peace comes from trust. And trust only becomes possible when you finally accept something difficult. You were never meant to carry the weight of the entire future by yourself. That responsibility was never yours to begin with. And maybe that is why Jesus repeatedly spoke about fear, anxiety, and worry. Because a mind disconnected from trust will eventually drown itself in thought. This does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you stop planning. It simply means your thoughts stop sitting on the throne of your life. Because some people are not being destroyed by reality. They are being destroyed by imagined realities that have not even happened. And the saddest part is that overthinking often feels safer than surrender, because surrender feels uncertain. But overthinking creates the illusion of control, even when it is quietly draining your joy, your energy, your sleep, and your peace. It's written in Philippians 4:6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, 5, present your requests to God. Notice what that verse does not say. It does not say, never feel overwhelmed. It says, do not carry your anxiety alone. Sometimes the most healing thing a person can do is stop trying to solve everything mentally for one moment and simply breathe, to pause, to pray. It 5, to release the outcome, to stop gripping the future so tightly. Because peace does not come from finally figuring everything out. It comes from finally realizing you do not have to carry everything alone. And maybe today, your soul does not need more analysis. Maybe it needs rest, maybe it needs trust. And maybe that is why 1 Peter 5:7 says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So the next time your thoughts begin spiraling, Not immediately follow every fearful thought. Pause, breathe. And remember this, you do not have to mentally control everything in order to be safe. Some battles are won, not by overthinking harder, by finally surrendering what was never yours to carry. So if this video spoke to the exhausted place inside your mind, do not just scroll away from this moment. Go down to the comments and type, "Lord, teach me to trust you with what I cannot control." And if you know someone whose mind has been overwhelmed lately, share this video with them. Remind them that peace is still possible. And if you want more biblical reminders like this for anxious minds and tired souls, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, slow down, breathe, and let your soul rest.